You've all been waiting for it, and it's here. A brand new season of United Rogue Overwatch.
Maybe? Minky?
Minky? Minky?
Minky? Oh my goodness, what was
Wow.
big? Oh, that's
Fuck,
a fine
man,
man
grab.
right
Let's
there.
go.
What a grab.
A new season brings new teams, new players, and for the first time, a new league.
And I'm gonna promise every single person watching right now, there will be no Ajax.
No Ajax!
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at this! The double, the triple, and then getting rid of the Orisa.
Oh, this is truly Overwatch.
Yo, okay.
It's time to see who can rise to the challenge and who will fall in defeat. It's time for Season 8.
Hello, United Rogue. I'm Dragon Master, and I'm joined here by Helios.
Hello, everyone.
We are here for the Week 2 game of Louisville Gamble versus Vancouver Wild. And I think we're waiting on one person here, but we should start soon. What do you think about these teams, Helios?
Vancouver, the last time they played, it was a 3-0 against Buffalo, even though that series was very scuffed. Buffalo had 2 subs. So, yeah. I think the stream for that ended up being around 38 minutes.
Fast set.
Yeah, an extremely fast set. And then Louisville, there's a lot of good talent on Louisville. You have Lemon, you have Smooth, you have Blue Jay, but you also have a couple unknown people like Emerald City. However, I think just purely based off Smooth, Lemon, and Blue Jay, I think Louisville should win this.
I think you're also underestimating. Minky was there a couple. He hasn't played in a couple seasons, but he was a really good tank player.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Minky, so
He and my brother were having rivalries a couple seasons ago when they were in. So they're really, really good. In terms of the other team, I see Chaco, I recognize, and I think Recall. I think Recall's a Tracer player, but we'll see.
And
Genji player.
And Vancouver are going to go to Lijiang for their first map.
Yep. And we're waiting on bans.
Yes.
And I don't think Smooth is here either, so we gotta wait.
Yeah. So, while we wait for Louisville to ban, how do you feel about Lijiang?
I think it depends on what they play. I have played a lot of scrims on this map, and every single time Mei has been super dominant, especially with her new perks. I don't know if they're like Ruby's gonna use that, but
Let's see.
I have a feeling it doesn't really matter at a higher level because they just know to destroy the wall really fast and they're more coordinated.
Yeah.
So.
We'll see what the bans are, but yeah, I mean, this series is looking to be fairly competitive, I think. Vancouver just need to play it right. I think that's all this really comes down to.
I don't know too much about the Vancouver players other than Chaco, his Can Jesus, some people call him. But I don't know too many of these players, so I can't say until I see them in action.
Yeah. Let's hope that this does not last much longer.
I think it's supposed to start at 6 and it's 6:11, right? I think it's 15 minutes before first map FF.
Okay, yes. Louisville are gonna ban Hazard.
We ban Hazard, okay.
I don't know about a Hazard ban on this map.
Actually, it's actually probably a good ban because it's worse Mei. because you can wall off the enclosed sections and block them from leaving, and then kill them.
Hmm. I just
But
don't. Sorry,
Yeah,
what
we
were
were
you gonna say?
yeah, you can go.
I just don't think Mei is very good on this map. She's good on what? Control center?
The
That's
control
kind of it.
center and the left side of
Night market.
Night Market, and the left side of what's it? The
Gardens?
Gardens.
I mean, I guess you can force brawl on Li Zhang.
But I don't. It depends on what they run. I don't. If you run like a tank like Monkey or something, you can just kind of jump over it. Unless you're in those closed sections, then Mei thrives.
Hmm.
But that's why I was saying Hazard too, because Hazard could dive and wall off. So.
Yeah.
Okay, and it looks like Smooth is here now.
Okay.
And it looks like
And
they're
Van are
banning
going to
Juno.
ban Juno.
Awesome.
Juno's a very good ban on this map. Kind of forces if Louisville wants speed into Lucio, which
Sounds
God.
good. They might play Lucio though, because you have to play Lucio then, right? If they know the
Yeah.
setups though, they can just boop them off the map. So I assume they're ready for that.
Yeah.
It looks like they're ready. All right, and we're in.
Yeah.
And we're on Gardens
And we are
first.
starting on Gardens. Gardens is a unique map because the point is enclosed, but there are so many death pits around the point that
Yeah.
you really can't stand near the point.
Yeah, I imagine there might be a sim. Yeah, there's a sim.
Yeah, so if I had to guess, Lemon is just TPing into
On
the point, but
Oh, and they're both TPing, so you know this is welcome to sim matchups. Really, it's whoever can get that first pick. They're both running Orisa.
Harissa Mirror.
I don't think I've seen Orisa much on this map. I guess that makes sense though. You ban Hazard.
Yeah, so it is as I thought. Yep. And Recall is going to switch Genji after TPing. However, Louisville here are going to take a lot more space than Vancouver are. Yeah,
they
and
got 'em
Louisville
checked.
find a pick with that extra space. Lucio falling extremely low here. Same with Genji. Tracer just doing a lot of damage, forcing Lucio Genji out. But Vancouver haven't capped, but Louisville haven't capped the point yet.
They got him holed up in the white room.
Yeah.
They're trying to get in. Oh, a big spear to block him from going in.
And Recall super far forward. Yeah, and that's Lucio dead.
We call dead.
Oh, Choco
Wind
finds the
is low.
headshot. Can Choco find a second? No, he can't.
And Louisville with that first 2 fight wins.
Yeah. Louisville are starting to get some ults on the board. In comparison to Vancouver, which only has Nano, but... yeah, well...
They're kind of just poking at each other, waiting for an opportunity to get across.
yeah. And that's going to be overclock out from Blue Jay. In response, Shiva nanos and Lemon sticks. That is... However, that is a Louisville win.
You mean a Van win?
A Van win, yes. Oh, this is a unique position for Lemon to be in.
Oh, he's like behind them. What is he doing? I think he's trying to force them off of their main choke. Oh,
Yeah.
is that Orisa all?
Or just clean up.
Dude.
Yeah, and Louisville and Vancouver win another fight.
Well, now they don't have two. Well, they have 3 ults on the board for Van, so that's really
And they're gonna
good for them.
TP again.
They're about even economy.
Yeah.
Orisa ult comes out, forcing beat, both beat and cast Deadeye. Choco is down though.
Yeah.
The Genji Blade gets 1. They're trading though.
Mm.
Just kind of Lemon on the point alone. He recalls. Gets recall though.
Ooh. Yeah.
And Orisa
Van
falls
are-
low. It's just Orisa, and they pull it out. Oh wait,
Yeah.
Choco's back though.
And they don't get the point flip. Close. Oh, and Lemon
Almost,
died.
but Minky's back in time. They're resetting. They're still down. Van is still down a tank though.
Mm.
Now arriving at Lijiang Palace.
Choco falls low on the side there. Genji retouches. They're going Doom to get back. Force the Orisa ult. Anti out. Minky falls low, dies.
And Lemon dies again.
And wait, they
But
retouch though.
Blue Jay gets another touch.
Blue Jay does not able to live long enough. That was a crazy ending there.
Yeah, I mean, Louisville just kind of stole it, or Vancouver stole it from Vancouver.
Ready for battle.
Alright. No, this is. I wonder if I think we're still gonna see the sim,
Yeah.
and I wonder if Minky's gonna stick with the Doom. No, he's swapping to Ram. That's a good choice against Orisa.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's swapping back to Orisa.
3, 2, 1.
And Lemon's swapping to the sim. That's an interesting.
Yeah, Lemon was just TPing them out of spawn. That's a good spear from Minky, getting a little bit of early ult charge, but Smooth is already 10% to window. And Louisville here taking an early lead in the fight. And I think this first fight goes to Louisville.
They got there early, and got an early pick.
Yeah. And we are gonna get the point.
Lemon's trying to police this off angle from them, so they have to go down main. Force the recall though.
Oh, and that's a
Blue Jay falls
huge.
down though. That was a big anti.
Yeah.
And they all fall low. They back up though, luckily. The Battle of the Orisa and the Schwartz and the tank go down, and they recap. It was 27% though for that first fight. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, this has been very back and forth. So
Yeah, it's whoever gets the first pick or hits in the ante. Honestly, that ante has been instrumental in them forcing them out.
and Lemon ends up getting caught. That means Vancouver, Louisville have no tracer.
Here, that's the flex force. They're taking this left side, Louisville. Trying to get in. Cast Deadeye. Didn't get anyone.
And that's
Nano
a
the
nano
Orisa.
onto the Orisa again.
Orisa gets one. That's a huge pick. Unfortunately, his backline kind of falls, and Mickey falls shortly after.
I didn't even notice, but it is still an Orisa mirror, so...
Yeah. Unfortunately, Van is doing a really good job of going after Mickey's backline.
Yeah.
Whenever he goes in. There's a Genji. That's a big beat though.
And
They kill recall. That's actually huge.
the blade
That's
just
another
dies,
beat.
but then the counter engage with the beat is suppressed by the overclock. And yeah, I mean, this is just...
Oh, and Ana goes down though. That's a huge
Very-
pick. That's a cast. Oh, it gets speared out
And
of
the
it though
cast
and
dies.
dies.
And Smooth dies in with window
Who's gonna close
too.
low? Recall dies though. Wait, there's still the BAP wall.
Minky.
And Minky has to
Still
touch
alive.
here, but he gets speared off.
He's
He gets
not-
speared off of it.
Yeah. And
And
Van
that's a Van
goes
win.
1-0.
Huge first win for Van.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're Vancouver, I think this really is a testament to the fact that, yeah, even though the people on Louisville are known good players, you can definitely beat them, and this might not look as bleak as you think it would have looked.
Yeah, I think that it was also a really good map for their playstyle. I wonder how subsequent maps are not so enclosed and like, I guess forcing you into one angle, right? Look
Yeah.
for them. So
I'm
we'll
interested
see.
to see where Louisville take us next.
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna see the Orisa duel the entire time, or if that's just because that's a brawl map. That
The
Orisa
has been
just-
too.
Yeah, the has been too. I wonder if I haven't seen him personally in my games, but I know in top 500 OWCS right now, he's been played a lot.
Yeah. I think we'll see what ends up happening. What do you think Louisville need to do though?
I think they need to stay more grouped up because currently Minky kind of walks up. They might get a pick when they get a pick and they walk up together. They succeeded, but what was happening was that I think Minky or someone else would push up too far. They would get secluded, and the Genji the Genji Tracer would just dive on them, or the Sim TP.
Genji Lucio?
Yeah, Genji Lucia, or whoever the dive partner at that time was, and they would just kill that person and seclude them.
I actually think Louisville need to take more angles. Because what's really been punishing them is grouping up with the Orisa, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, I agree, but at the same time on that map, I think it's enclosed angles, so you want to put as much pressure you can on that
Yeah.
angle that they're on, right? So I think on this next map, they're definitely going to probably play more split up.
yeah. The BAP healing, though, that was definitely enough to keep them alive. I'm just not sure if BAP was the right pick necessarily.
Yeah. He's really good when you play grouped up deathball comps, but he's not very good when you take off angles and stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
the single target burst healing is not as good as other supports.
I mean, I think you could maybe play Kiri. I'm not sure how comfortable Smooth is on Kiriko.
I'm so used to seeing Smooth on DPS.
DPS.
So I'm not sure what he plays. I think he plays BAP because it's basically DPS, but
DPS
support.
BAP, yeah. Maybe a little bit of Zen.
I don't know if Zen is the good pick against what they were running because he just.
Oh no, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You insta die if you go Zen against Vancouver. But like maybe Ana, because I know Smooth has been playing a lot of Freya recently,
Yeah.
and so
Same speed of bullets.
Yeah. yes,
Pick circuit. Okay. And then what other bands? We'll see.
Are gonna.
Chocolate.
That's not a
Cass?
real band. Cass. Okay. A Cass ban on Circuit Royale.
That's an interesting pick, but Choco does love the Cass.
He does, but wouldn't you rather ban Widow? Unless Lemon wants to go Widow.
I imagine that they're going to be playing Sojourn and Freya, to be honest, on this map. I've also been seeing a lot of Weaver on this map, in particular. I don't know if it's banned. I know in Collegiate and OWCs, I think going over the top, like at the beginning of Circuit, is banned, but I don't think it is banned in this league. So
It might be. However, Vancouver are gonna ban Sig in response.
okay.
I'm assuming because they prefer Brawl, but
You run the
Sig is a
Ram.
known counter to Brawl. Because you just kind of sit there and poke them out while they can't really run at you. But I think it's interesting to see how Vancouver will approach this.
Yeah, I think we'll probably be seeing the Ram or the Orisa, to be honest. The Orisa with the shield perk is really good on poke, and Ram is really good at poke as well, because he gets to brawl once he actually gets close.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Although the only thing with Orisa is before you get that shield, she's really not a good poke hero.
I think she's okay. It's just that because you have unlimited range, you still have your like spin that blocks damage completely unless it's a beam.
So yeah.
But it's
I'm
definitely way better at poke once you actually get that shield for your team.
Just not. Also, I will say, Circuit is a very pretty map, just not gameplay wise.
No. Oh, and I see Orion. Okay, I'm swapping to the Orisa. Yeah.
Brave of you to show your face after what happened in Monte Cristi.
Why? Cake in chat with why is your team cringe target banning?
I need to actually go pull up the stream so I can see this.
They did target ban the cast. That they did do.
2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
We are going Ryan on Circuit.
Wait, we're Ryan. What? What? We're running rush comp on
the
Circuit?
one of the most poke maps in the game.
I know
Mark?
Scrim is my team wanted me to run Diva on this map against the Sigma comp. That was not fun, but Ride is probably even worse.
Diva's not even bad against that. Diva's not horrible on this map. You just need a Juno. And
I don't think I had one.
And Vancouver do end up losing their Lucio, which is tragic.
Wait, the Ryan's actually functioning. Wait a minute.
It's functioning, and I'm not sure how.
He's running at the Ram. Oh, they swapped to Czar?
Why?
I don't know.
Ryan counters Czar. What? However, not if we are gonna see Lemon on Widow though, which is definitely a threat on this map.
Oh, you know what I think the plan is to bubble the sim, right? When they get full beam.
Oh, true. But Minky is falling really low though, and the Czar does end up dying. Blue Jay can't get out, ends up messing up the TP, and just dies on point.
That's huge. I wonder if we're gonna see the swap off of Czar. I don't. Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, we
Ryan,
are.
Ryan
Orion mirror
on circuit. Let's.
Oh, this is an interesting match, to say the very least.
I don't think I've ever seen a Ryan Ditto on this map in higher level of play.
Yeah.
As always, you lack perspective.
This is very confusing. And not to mention that the Emerald City 3 on Lifeweaver.
I mean, Weaver is actually in a really good state right now, and OWCS they use him a ton on this map.
Yeah, but wouldn't you rather play Alari with the Bab?
No, because Weaver can pull you back, especially with the run. Oh, that's a big block.
And Shatter does not connect. Minky holding shield. That Sim is applying a lot of pressure. A nice counter charge too. The grip really showing its value here.
On the tree. Minky's really close to Shatter. He has it now with the EMP and the blade.
That's a massive EMP, but the tree over health.
Oh, but he shattered. He shattered. Wait, he's in the sky. Does he die? He managed to live. No, he does. And Ash has to back up.
Yeah, so that's a massive EMP, and if you're on the side of Louisville, you have Bob and Window to touch.
Bob got forced to touch, and I think he's pushing them back off a point, exerting his aura around the point.
The
counterpin.
Oh,
the nano.
That's a good nano. That's a good nade too, and that's a really good.
Unfortunate window. I think it was there to save Minky's life. Unfortunately, he was antied.
Yeah. And Ana is currently payload, so we will. So just Lucio heals up front, and Vancouver are getting a little unique with it. A little bold, some would say. Minky's
kind of alone here. He teleports out though.
Remember, they did change circuit quite a few seasons ago. I believe it was season 14 that they changed it. And they did actually edit this part of the map specifically.
I honestly don't remember what's edited anymore because I just played it for so long now. It feels natural. Oh, and there's a big
That's
shatter.
A 4-man shatter.
Pin not functioning as usual.
Yeah. If you're Vancouver, there is a way to stop this, and it's called EMP Blade. That's what that's called.
Yeah.
And just EMP the Weaver, then kill the Weaver when they can't tree.
They also have beat, so if they ever get low, they can just beat.
Yeah.
Oh, no counterpin. There's the EMP blade.
And and Weaver dies before they can tree. That EMP was massive, and that is a 5k.
So, any bets on banning Sombra next game?
We'll see. We'll see if Choco gets double target banned.
I would almost rather play against the cast than the Sombra at this point. The EMP is bringing so much value. There's a beat.
And there's the tree. Trading defensive ults. However, Blue Jay does get caught.
Nano. It's just Minky.
And Vancouver avoiding the circuit curse, where they get forever held at that second corner.
I am interested to see what Louis does in response to this on attack.
Yeah. I mean, the Sombra really just caused a lot of disruption even if it was not super obvious.
Yeah, and then the EMP blade combo just secured every fight.
It secured every fight they used it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what Louisville will have in the kitchen.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go like. I think that's why they were going Czar to try and stop the
Sombra.
the Sombra hack and the Genji. Like you can't deflect it.
Yeah.
But
Czar just ended up not really working because of the fact
Ryan.
that, yeah, they were on Ryan.
Okay, but they're running Orisa and Diva now. But they do have the Juno. Yeah.
Yeah.
You reminded me. In my scrim, I did not have a Juno, so I didn't have any speed.
Yeah. There used to be a glitch with Juno Diva where the
Yeah.
speed from the Hyper Ring and the speed boost from boosters used to stack. And so you
Multiply
could
it.
launch your Diva at the enemy team like a guided missile.
Oh no, but you forgot the worst part about it is it multiplied her rocket damage too. So she would just eliminate the enemy.
It multiplied her rocket damage
Yes,
as
yes.
well.
Her speed. The faster she was, the more damage she did. So she would rocket across the map, eliminate someone, and then like you were up.
And that is Junk finding an early pick for Louisville onto Vancouver's main support. And Vancouver has no supports.
And it's just Sombra in the back. They might be staggering him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stagger him.
And Louisville are going to get it to this second corner a lot faster than Vancouver were able to. So, however, the Orisa is a little closer to ult than, and wow.
There's the Sombra down. Recall falls low. Getting anti, but going after the Ana. Minky's diving on these people.
And this Junk,
taking their lunch money.
this Junk is being such a headache for Vancouver.
Well, Blue Jay is known for his drunk gameplay. The Ryan shield is getting shredded as a result of it.
Yeah, and not only that, the one-shot combos are just ripping this backline apart. And Blue Jay is close to a tire, so I'm going to take it. It will probably be a solo ult.
Going after the back line gets two.
It almost gets a third as well.
Doesn't matter. The Ryan has to back up because of that.
Yeah, and Louisville are coasting this cart all the way to the end of second.
Wait, what? Minky's all the way back there. Go after the support? What's going on?
And I don't think Vancouver get a touch, and they do not.
Wait, Minky's in the back, and I don't know if they know about it. They do. They're hacking Minky out. He might die here.
Minky has bomb though, so.
But he forced anti.
He forced anti, and he's still alive with bomb.
Yeah. And they're still pushing the cart.
Yeah.
Keep him policing off the
And that's a bomb?
Interesting bomb.
That kills Choco?
Kills Choco, but they EMP'd. I think he tried to EMP the bomb, but I don't think that stops the bomb once it's already out.
No, it doesn't. However, point is being contested. Smooth, please win this. Okay, thank you. Smooth almost lost this. Almost lost it.
Well,
so.
there's still the Genji. Kiriko flees. Minky goes down, unfortunately. So they have to reset here. Most support ults on the side of Louis, though. We'll see.
And that is mirrored on Vancouver.
Yeah, they also have a blade, though. They swapped to, by the way, they swapped to Diva. I didn't notice that.
Oh,
Okay, Ray gets 2.
that's wild.
Interesting.
Oh.
With the
Okay,
diva.
Chad is getting a little heated. We're just all here to watch some good old-fashioned Overwatch. Let's keep the drama for after. And Blue Jay gets caught by the diva. However, Minky does end up getting demacked. And so Vancouver really able to find their footing currently.
Choco's low. Lemon diffs him on the Sombra 1v1. They go in. Braid pops rally though, stopping them from pushing. They counter ult.
Briggs falling super low.
Tire going off, but they destroyed it immediately.
The rush gets no value.
Diva's super
And
low.
Diva
Diva gets demagged. Goes down.
Diva dies. And
Brig leaves.
Louisville are gonna be able to really get this closer to the end, and with a lot more time than Vancouver have.
Sombra's gonna have, or Anna's gonna have to touch. They EMP. Sleep. Blue Jay falls low. He gets healed.
That's a
They
better EMP
again.
though. That's
There's a bomb.
although nobody
Behind.
dies to that.
They killed the diva though. Oh, the
And
Genji
Rika
doesn't
can't
just
touch
barely
in
doesn't touch.
time.
That's so that was literally like a 0.1 second like not touching. Alright. So Vancouver has a minute and a half, so they have about a minute gap between them.
Yeah.
See what they run again. I think the diva definitely worked out for both teams a lot better than the Ryan on this map.
I mean, in the Rhine Mirror round, look how little time Vancouver has left. Yeah,
Looks like they're
and
running
both
the
teams,
diva again.
and both teams are going to opt for a diva mirror.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Oh, they're running Hazard.
Oh.
I'm interested to see. No, they're running Orisa. They're playing Mr. Heroes. They're
Just this playing Mr. Heroes and Spawn.
and the Ryan. Okay.
Gotta
Confuse
love
the
it.
casters.
Yeah. Or this is
And back to
this-
Diva.
back to diva. This makes our job so much easier, right?
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh no. What the cats? And Choco gets found, and so does Recall.
Mickey falls really low though. He gets out with his life though.
Yeah, and Vancouver have no DPS.
That's big. For Louis.
Yeah.
Genji forced deflect. They're going on him. He gets out. Oh no, never mind. He gets out and barely doesn't, or barely dies.
Yeah, and Louisville are gonna hold this corner. There are no ults online, which is... Yeah, that's probably not great, but...
Mickey goes after back line.
This ends now.
And that's
Oh,
an overclock.
You're done.
And Louisville, I think, are gonna hold this.
They did nano the diva. We'll see.
The diva gets really stuck
Bomb.
between a rock and a hard place.
They kill the baby diva.
Yeah, and
I don't think anybody
can-
touches. Maybe no. Sombra doesn't
No.
quite touch.
Yeah, they had rush anyway, so they weren't gonna win that.
Well, that's 2.5 minutes to push around the corner. That's
Yeah.
probably very favorable for Louis.
Yeah. I think Louisville are gonna win this. This map specifically.
Yeah, we'll see. This looks like it's very close because each set is
Yeah.
based on. There's a lot of swaps going on, and there's a lot of counter swapping. It seems like.
Yeah.
I think the perks didn't do their job of stopping counter swapping.
I think if anything, I think once the teams are on the heroes, I think that they're going to not swap because of the perks, and you don't want to lose that.
That's true, but you also, because of the perk progress you get, you gain more from shooting
More
and
as the
killing
game
people
goes
as the
on.
game goes on, because they already have high perk, right? And then you shoot that
Yeah.
person and you get more perk progress than normal. So
Yeah.
if they remove that feature, I think that counter swapping wouldn't be as big. But I see why it's there also, because if you need the counter swap, then you're screwed if you can't.
Yeah. Then you're then the situation is really bad, right?
Yeah.
And Louisville are gonna get it close to the first corner. All they need to do is get it slightly past that, and Recall manages to dash out. And Recall gets
falls low.
again. Ooh, just this falling super
Arista
low.
falls low. No gold though.
They are able
Gold,
to...
and they're about to blow him up, holding DM over him so he can't get heals. They unfortunately
Oh my God.
can't.
He's
they can't
still
quite-
alive?
Yeah, he didn't get. They didn't have any pressure on him, I don't think.
And Chocoman keeping the touch alive, but that's a
And
Louisville
Louis.
map 2 win.
So it's
Very
1-1.
dominant in overtime.
Play of the game.
So where do you think they're taking us next?
Well, this is Vancouver's map pick, and we do have a swap for
Oh,
Vancouver.
Mountains going
We are
in?
going to see Mountain instead of just this, which I think just this left the whole game.
I know Mountain plays a lot of Winston.
Yes, but he can play most support or most tanks. So
We'll see what he runs. It depends on, I think, on the map too. I wonder where they're gonna take us, because we already played what, escort and control, so
yeah, hybrid
push or
flashpoint.
flashpoint.
A lot of those are, besides hybrid, a lot of them are very close quarters, and we are going to go to flashpoint and Saravasa.
Okay.
This is closer quarters maps are where Van looked the best. So I think they do want to have that.
At the same time, this map, there's certain points where it's close quarters, and there's other points where it's very open. So I think it's gonna be a mix.
I mean, yeah, but in general, this map is very, very close quarters. There's
Yeah.
a lot of tight corners as well.
That's
So-
true. You can also get split very easily.
Yeah,
on this map.
it's just such a big map, and Vancouver are gonna ban Tracer.
Makes sense.
Tracer.
I wonder what Louis is gonna ban.
Hmm.
Actual race. Okay.
Yeah. Louisville cannot ban a DPS because Tracer was already banned.
Yes.
So
And I'll have to look at the previous bans. I think it was it Hazard and Juno first map?
Yes, has
And then
Juno's
last
first
map. And last map, I don't remember what it was. I think it was Sigma and
Sig, Cass.
Cass. Yes, that makes sense. So you can't pick those characters again. So we'll see.
I like the Tracer ban on Saravasa. Tracer is not actually horrible on Saravasa. There's a lot of open space that she can cross very easily. And so it's a matter of like, okay, Juby.
I'm interested
How
to
do we wanna-
see. I'm interested to see what Van runs because I know Shiba was running a lot of Ana, and I don't think Ana's really gonna work on this kind of map because you're just gonna get flanked pretty easily.
I think Louisville banned Winston.
Monkey.
I think it's a monkey ban.
Yes.
Okay, it is. Okay, it is a Winston ban.
So they're banning it for Mountain probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. But that also cuts out dive, right? Because you can't run.
Yeah. I
Can't
mean,
run
you
Tracer.
can,
You don't get
but
Genji
like,
I think
you
we're
have
gonna
Genji
probably see
Sombra,
Hazard. We're
but
probably gonna see
yeah,
Hazard.
I think
right?
has
Hazard's probably the next best thing.
is what the vertical mobility, the burst.
You can also see Diva on this map.
Yeah. Both teams do very much like Diva.
Yeah. Although, well, that was just this. I don't know about Mountain. I think he also plays Diva.
He also play not as much Diva, I've heard, but he does play a lot of Hazard. So I think we'll be seeing a Haz.
Okay.
Which Louisville could not actually ban because they already banned it map 1.
Yeah. I think we're ready. I think we're just waiting on.
Well, it's
yeah.
pretty
Okay.
cool.
Yep. There we go. And I think we're about to go in soon.
Yeah.
I imagine this first point is more brawly though.
Yeah.
I wonder what we'll see from them.
Hmm. I mean, I can if Vancouver are actually going Hazard, I can probably guess a Kiri Lucio backline or a Lucio Ana backline.
Yeah.
Because I do know that Shiva loves the Ana. Yes, and it will be.
Oh, they're running the Maga.
Minky, why are you playing the brain dead hero? Why?
Maga is still kind of strong. He's just not. He requires a lot of resources from his team though.
Yeah. Haha. The fucking.
Yeah. I mean they're not running Diva yet, so maybe. But.
Yeah, Diva has a lot more vertical momentum, mobility. We are going to see Blue Jay on the Junkrat. Yeah, and Vancouver are going to end up going the left, or the right side.
We'll see. We call taking this off angle, looking for the Juno.
The wall is actually huge. It stops Blue Jay from diving in with Minky.
No. Mountain Falls low though. Mountain Falls. They trade for Blue Jay though. They get Lemon. But they went out.
Yeah.
Stomping on the cast gets taken down.
Yeah. This.
Genji's trying to retouch. They stop it though.
Yeah, this is looking a little bit dire if you're Vancouver. I mean, like, how do you really stop it, right? You have to.
They're kind of split, so they kind of need to regroup first.
And Recall gets super staggered.
That's huge by Lemon.
Yeah, that means Vancouver can't get another fight until the 70s on this.
Maga's chasing after the Cass.
And we're going into the spawn room? This is a very
Lucio.
unique... And Lucio does end
He
up
falls low,
dying.
though. They managed to get him without dying. That's actually huge.
Yeah, and I don't
think they retouch in time.
think they get a contest, and they end up not getting one. This ends up being Palace or Ruins, and I believe it is Palace.
Flashpoint. Palace.
Yes, Palace.
Oh, are we going to see... Recall is going to be flanking on Genji. And
Blue Jay gets him, though.
yeah, the Junkrat lurk.
Unlocks in 10 seconds.
Mountain does end up having the hazard ult, so we'll see when he decides to use that. High noon
it now,
and
gets-
has ult
Maga.
committed.
Unfortunately, the Suzu only cleansed them and not didn't also stop the ult. I wonder if that was.
So if you cleanse someone after they've been hit by Hazult, you cannot.
You can't cleanse it, right? But
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I thought it
remove
hit
the
at the
rooted
same time.
status.
To be honest.
You
But I
had
guess-
to. You have to soothe them as the.
As it happens.
Yeah, like as it will hit them for them to be.
Interesting alt beat. It forced beat though.
Beat for
He's
Kate.
low. Okay, orbital.
It forces Ray too, but they win the fight off that.
That's fine. I would rather win the fight than because if they pop those ults and didn't win the fight, then it would be a waste, right? But since
Oh,
they
yeah.
won, it was fine.
True. However, you are giving up Cage and Ray for just beat, so is Louisville really okay with that ult trade? And this is Tyre
here's
too.
Junkrat.
And we are going to.
Junkrat gets
Goodbye,
Choco.
Choco.
Genji goes in. Genji's really low
With
though.
Blade and
They-
Nano.
Blue Jay gets 2 though.
Mhm.
Just recall. No.
And it's just Mountain on point left to cap. Mickey ends up dying.
Recall was
Blue Jay-
literally on 1 HP.
Oh, close.
Unfortunately.
And Vancouver off, and Vancouver managed to flip it.
Well, let's look at it this way. They popped both Blade and Nano, and they have Rush for next fight.
True.
So I think they almost have Hazard ult though.
Yeah. They do, and they almost have High Noon. Vancouver are cycling their ults very, very well. However, that is a Mauga. That has all hit the entire backline. There's just
Unfortunately,
very little follow up.
They didn't get anyone, unfortunately. No one was
Yeah.
there to capitalize on it.
That was a massive Hazalt. There was just very little follow up because Lemon was able to turn and take out the Genji Lucio that was flanking.
Yeah.
Smooth, hiding in the walls, more specifically on top of them.
Lemon's kind of alone. Okay, he gets out.
Hmm.
They're
You
LSing it.
take-
This is a good ult because it blocks them from using the
Rush. Yeah. You take High Noon for Rush. Like, you
Yeah.
take that trade. And Lucia is on point, stalling actually fairly long. Does end up dying.
It's recall.
And that's-
I
Cage?
guess it's fine. They won the point for it. I don't know if it was necessary, but it did block him from leaving.
And we are going to Ruins next.
Next, flashpoint.
Where? It's over here. Let's see. The mountains are already actually almost 70% to the next ult, yeah. So,
Yeah. However, Minky is only like 10% to another cage, and they're
they
very
get one
low.
early though. They get recall. How's it going after backline? Maga decides to stomp their backline. It's
Yeah.
both the supports.
And Louisville are kind of running away with Saravasa.
This MAGA comp is really working out for them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and
three.
this-
I mean, that's 2 ults though for them. I think they get it though. They get
it's
Mountain.
2 alts, but yeah. They
They win that fight. I mean, that's pretty efficient to be honest.
yeah.
Because they have what 3 ults coming up.
Yeah.
So
I think you can win the fight with just High Noon if you play your cards right.
perhaps, but they're gonna have Nano Blade, so that's probably gonna get a pick. Okay.
And
That secures one
Juna
pick.
does end up dying.
Blue
The
Jay
Hazel-
falls. Blue Jay falls.
Yeah. And I think this
I think
However-
Mickey dies here.
yeah. However,
I mean, to be fair, they popped that, so they have Nano Blade for next fight plus High Noon, and they use High
Yeah.
Noon there. That's unfortunate. I think they might have to just lose this point unless they can force out a bunch of ults this fight and then fight again.
yeah. I will say though, if you can bait out a High Noon and a Nano Blade this fight, I think you're on really good terms. But you cannot use your rush to respond. You have to like bait with something. And Louisville are gonna end up going, I believe, to the right here, to the point, and they are gonna go the coastal lane with Blue Jay capping roughly. And that's a rush from the side of Vancouver.
That's an early Suzu to block Anti, but Shiva goes down. Recall gets 2. Blue Jay gets the Lucio though. And even Maga is going after backline. They all are
And-
low, but unfortunately he doesn't get anyone.
Yeah, you didn't bait out High Noon, so they
I think
still
this
have
is the
that to
end of
stop the
that.
touch.
I think they just play for next point then.
I don't think they get a touch, and I think they know that, so I think
Yeah,
they're
they're-
getting ready to go to Gardens.
Yeah.
Secure.
Or actually, it's Temple.
Flashpoint. Temple.
Temple a little bit more open than perhaps Ruins was, so maybe the
They
Malgo
gotta be
will-
careful here at the edge though, because Lucio's gonna boop him off.
Yeah, that's always the danger with Temple.
Yep, there. Oh,
Yeah. Goodbye, Mickey.
no, he almost did. Caster's curse.
No, you didn't cast or curse them, but you definitely predicted the future.
Yeah. Oh, Mountain
And
falls low. He lives though. Yukiki gets 1, 2, 2. That's big. And Hazard ult doesn't get anyone, I don't think. So
no, Smooth able to get out.
it's just a Hazard. Oh no,
Yeah.
Smooth is really low. Genji gets the pick though.
And
Just
the
make
solo
the
tire,
one.
Vancouver are gonna force it to a 0.5.
I think so. I don't think they have. They don't have any ults now, and what Van has 2 coming up on 4.
Yeah. Because you have beat High Noon, you're coming up on Nanoblade as well. And that's a huge nade on to Minky, stopping them from touching for a little bit, and forces out the Suzu.
They're gonna have to go in.
Yeah.
Ana beat. Oh, Ana falls low, but they beated to save her life. That's a big array, but somebody's got to stay on point.
Blue Jay is staying
Cass is
on
kind of
point.
alone.
Mountain does end up dying on point, and so does Choco as well.
Blue Jays won. They get the point though. They get the point progress. That's
get
pretty
the point.
big. Although they only baited out beat, which is good, but at the same time they still have 3 ults.
And well,
They only have what?
Louisville have nothing.
Maybe rush.
Yeah.
By the time that happens.
So it's just a matter of like.
I think for this fight, if you win, great. But if you don't, I think what you do is you bait out as many ults as you can for the next one.
Yeah, and that's Nanoblade.
Nanoblade
and
gone.
Nanoblade wins the fight. Yeah, Choco does not need to use High Noon, so. However, Mountain is flipping the point.
Minky's trying to come back. I don't think they get it in time. He doesn't make it. He doesn't have charge again.
No.
Maybe, nah. He's gonna. I think he's gonna die here.
Gardens.
I think he's gonna die here. He jumps off the cliff. I think that was intentional.
Oh, it absolutely was. And we're going to Gardens after this.
I don't know why Lemon's gonna fight. I think that's a interesting choice.
Saravasa ends up going the distance.
Yeah. Let's see, where are we at the end? Wait, over here. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we're at the top left.
We'll see what they do here. There's
An early rush into the small room, countered by the Hazel and a 4-man EMP.
But Louis cleans up though. And
Yeah.
Blue Jay swaps the soldier. I didn't notice that. I am interested to see how that works. He's probably gonna try and flank as much as possible.
Yeah. And Blue Jay ends up switching off of the Junkrat and onto the soldier. That's a very good cage. It wins Louisville the fight, and
they get him. Nice.
And they're quickly approaching on 70% and climbing. Honestly, they still have Ray as well, but compared to the Nano and Beat on the side of Vancouver, is Ray enough? You do have the visor to combine with it, but they are also going to have Nanoblade, right?
That's B.
And Recall's gonna end up going for touch. And Vancouver just kite the Ray. And the visor as a result. That visor is used from way too far back.
They forced B and they're already at 99. So I think that, and they forced Blade? That's actually huge. Wait, they don't have Nano Blade for next fight.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna lose a fight, that would be probably the best outcome. They
have what?
Blade out.
Have Deadeye Nano, and
Deadeye Nano has ult. That's kind of it.
And they're gonna have what? EMP probably by the time.
Yeah, depends on how much Lemon pokes. And that's High Noon out of the fight. We do have the Nano though, and Nano does end up killing all of Louisville's backline and solo EMPing the Has.
You gotta kind of cap soon though.
And I think Vancouver.
Lemon's one. Wait, Lemon's literally one out, and Lucia gets back, but it's 3. There's just squishies. There's no tanks.
Yeah,
4v2 now. I think they win this. It's just 4v1.
I don't think they get a touch.
No.
No, they don't. And that's the second Louisville win. 2-1 in favor of Louisville.
This is probably the closest match I've seen yet this season.
Yeah, this is so close. I mean, Louisville has looked really strong early fight-wise, but then something happens and Vancouver just comes back.
He said haha and won the fight. That was an interesting choice from the Maga. I think it really worked out for them.
I think it worked on those closer points. For example, Gardens, Market, Ruins.
Yeah.
But
I'm interested to see where they take him next, though.
Yeah.
Now it's just
the ball's in Van's court.
It's push and hybrid.
Yes, and we do have predictions up. So Ajax is very rich. Got all of their points back.
Said in Minky we trust. Agreed.
Mm. I'm not gonna vote because this is honestly a coin toss. I don't know who's gonna win this.
I'm not voting either. I think that's a casters shouldn't be doing that probably. Yeah, so Van gets map pick and first year ban now. So I'm interested to see where they're gonna take them. It almost felt like the Maga Junkrat combo was ruining the Haswalls because he'd place them down and in like a second they would be destroyed.
Yeah. And we are gonna end up going to Nambani.
This is a very dive heavy map, and now they can't ban the monkey. So
Yeah. I think this makes a lot of sense if you're Vancouver. This will kind of force, hopefully, Louisville into a bad situation where Smooth and Emerald City just die on cooldown.
yeah, but we'll see what they run. You can't run. I wouldn't probably run Diva into this against another monkey.
I mean, you could run Diva into that.
Potentially, it's just you can't really eat the monkey's damage. You can eat everything else, but
Yeah.
we'll see. I also want to see what their bans are.
Let's see what Vancouver
So they're
Vancouver
banning
end up
Soj.
banning Soj.
That makes sense. Denied. So, right. Junkrat ban, that makes sense. Wait, you can't ban.
You
Yeah, what?
what?
They tried to ban Junk afterwards, but you can't do that. So they're banning. So they're banning Sojourn.
Yeah. Okay. So the official ban for Vancouver is Sojourn.
Yeah, and then we're waiting on what Louis to ban.
Yeah.
They can't ban Monkey. I would probably ban that Ana. Or maybe like a Brig or something. I don't know if Zeppeli plays Brig. You could ban a Lucio, but I don't think Lucio is worth banning.
Yeah. Zeppeli has shown a Brig, although I think they actually lost.
Yeah.
It was one of the maps they lost, I think.
I think Minky also runs a mean monkey, so I think they'll probably monkey mirror.
Okay, and Louisville are gonna ban Ana.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that hinders dive a lot. So
Yes, and they can't anti anyone to get them in. So I'm interested to see what they run. They could probably run like Lucio Juno, maybe,
yeah,
or maybe Brig Juno. You could probably run Brig Juno with dive.
you could also run Lucio Curie.
That's possible as well.
Smooth has been playing Curie. Smooth has been playing Curie for the majority of the set.
Yeah.
Zeppeli and Shiva have mainly shown Ana Juno or Ana Lucio.
Yeah.
So I think this will really show what they can do, especially Shiva now that the Ana is banned.
Yeah, and I think they get to pick sides, so I think they're running attack, right, Van?
Yeah. Yes.
So
Vancouver is on attack.
So this first point is very important that you hold for as long as possible.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do, especially with the Ana. That really hinders what their game plan probably. Just see what they run, Shiva.
Initiating match.
Yeah. Let's see. see what Vancouver end up running now that they do not have the Ana, and Shiva is going to end up going for the Kiriko.
Kiri. That's an interesting choice. I think that's good. It's just that the Juno is not really gonna have much protection against the dive.
Yeah, I mean, Juno is a lot of times for the glass cannon playstyle.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they play with that, especially against a Hazard.
Hazard, Brig Juno. That's seems pretty standard. Didn't they ban? Wait, okay, never mind. I was gonna say they banned Drunk as a troll. Never mind. Lemon's
No.
running the soldier, so it's kind of like a pseudo Soj, I guess.
Yeah.
I think Ash is not as good because you can't run away from the dive. With soldier,
Yeah.
you can kind of run away at least.
Yeah. I'm not sure. So typically with Hazard, you want to play Lucio Kiri because those two heroes are more mobile than Brig Juno, right?
I think
And
on this first point that makes sense though, because this is kind of like a bunker down, live as long as possible.
Yeah. And Mountain is going to end up jumping in, is not going to make it to height, but is going to make it to point. And Smooth ends up dying on Brig in the middle, and
support and Blue Jay. And now it's just
Louisville
Mickey.
just fall apart.
Lemon's up top trying to make a hero play. Unfortunately, he gets double dived.
Yeah. And that is a first point cap for Vancouver.
I'm interested to see. Lemon swaps to Tracer immediately. Blue Jay swaps to Cass. That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, no, I got it in my head that Tracer is banned, but they aren't.
That was last map.
Yeah.
Mountain falls super low and backs up.
Yeah, and
Diva
Minky is going to
swap.
switch over to Diva.
Makes sense.
Diva is very good against Winston. You just kind of poke him out even if he does go through your armor, right?
I think it's kind of even. It's just that Monkey kind of ignores you and goes after your team. So
Yeah. And Minky ended up getting demacked with Choco, pulling the high noon. Lemon still standing behind.
Hello. Salutations.
Louisville setting up for second point. Sports staying a little bit further back. And we are going to see an early rush with Mountain going even deeper in with Primal. And Louisville just kind of get wiped. I mean, if you're Louisville, this is starting to look really bleak.
yeah, the Winston is working really well on this map, and they can't really stop it. It seems.
Yeah.
I'd almost counter swap to the Monkey. Like I'd probably just stay Winston and then go after their backline instead.
You have Bomb, though, so you can't do that.
That's true.
Bad guys. Take them out.
Louisville have all 5 ults. They're gonna pull the Deadeye. Blue Jay and
Who's doing the pulse? That's big.
ooh, good. You just
Blue
can't
Jay
use
does
all
get
5
knocked.
ults here if you're Louisville, and they end up not doing that.
I wonder if they'll swap to more brawl here. This last point, because you really, if you play death ball, you really can't dive people on this last point.
Yeah, I mean the cat. Like, who do you dive in this though? What, dive the Juno and have the Brig cast peel for her?
Well, they just dived the cast, so
And the
Grab
cast
goes
and,
through it.
and
Gets the
Louisville
goes
end
through
up
rally.
falling apart again.
It appears that Van is just really, really good at running the dive, and it doesn't seem like the
Louisville
knows
can
how to
really
stop
do
it.
anything.
I think that Minky does swap to the Monkey. The orbital does get the other Monkey recall.
Yeah.
Not alone.
Again, Vancouver kind of just, and Choco gets stuck. However, the roll does keep him alive. And Lemon C9s.
That's
Oh.
unfortunate.
To 3. Switching sides.
Choco with that Dark Souls roll.
Hmm.
Initiating match.
I think that they should probably mirror the Winston and then dive the backline because their backline's getting dived, so they might as well dive the other backline, right?
Yeah.
My only thing is I think Lemon only play. I don't know about Lemon's like hero pool for dive. I know he plays a lot of Winston or Tracer. I mean,
Yeah.
Blue Jay. I don't know. I know he plays Junk and Cass, and I don't really know what else he plays.
Ready for battle.
Okay, Lemon's running the Cass.
That is a very fast Nambani too. I mean, you end the round with 3 minutes 47 seconds on the clock.
Someone call?
So the Reaper makes sense though to try and counter the Winston.
How's it going?
I am interested to see what they do here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
I mean, I think you just, and they are going to end up taking your advice and going the monkey here. I think you have to dive. Yeah, and they are going to end up diving the height.
Yeah, you have to dive their backline before they can dive your backline. That's the only way you can win against that team comp.
Yeah. But Smooth does end up dying, and they end up trading for Mountain. And again, a very fast cap on Nambani. However, it is almost Emerald City on the point.
Emerald City kind of has to leave. Unfortunately, the jump kind of killed
And
Emerald.
it's only
there,
one
but-
tick.
I'm with you. Hey there.
I'm noticing on stream that we are in third person. So
My gift to you. Digging the tunes.
Minky does try and get there. Jump back up to height. Try and stop them. Force Shuzu. Choco falls really low. He's getting healed though. There's Deadeye.
and Vancouver are managing to hold this.
Yeah. Choco falls low though. Deadeye ends. Choco falls. Capping. They almost get it. Mountain has to touch. No bubble though. He falls. Recall falls. And now it's just the supports.
And Louisville are finally gonna get the cap.
Objective A captured.
4 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. So
That's big.
we will.
They're having the interesting choice to have the Lucio player on card. I think that makes sense though, because he can speed over.
Yeah. Usually the Lucio should be on cart in a comp like this because you want your carry playing up and with the team.
Healing, and then you can TP back if you need to.
Yeah.
Monkey falls really low.
Monkey does die, and Shiva does end up rushing into a potted plant.
Huh.
And Vancouver are gonna stop this at the first corner.
There they are. Get ready.
Touching down. Let's block that payload. Touching down.
Interesting bubble. I think that was a misinput. Blue Jay. Oh,
The Blossom on cart.
Interesting. Mickey uses Primal though. He's gonna fall though, I think. I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Greetings.
unique, I guess. Is probably the best way to put it.
I think I would have almost rather died there and then have Primal for next fight. But maybe it was just a desperate attempt to live. And he didn't realize most of his team was dead.
Yeah. Mountain is gonna try to go in, gets booped out by Emerald City. Does have Primal, so he can stay in there for a very long time and forces a really bad rush. That rush really kind of does nothing.
That's 2 rushes in a row like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
These rushes are
B,
tragic.
B and Deadeye.
I'm not sure you needed the beat, but you definitely needed the Deadeye. Because now if you're Vancouver, you have nothing.
Yeah. Minky swaps back to the Diva.
Notices the Winston is no longer working. I don't... Why did we beat? Okay, and Recall is going to get caught, and Louisville are going to get a little bit of cart progress off that. And they're going to approach the second half of second point.
Minky falls though.
And this is a rush to contest.
And there's a rush. Recall falls low though. Recall gets
Recall does end up dying.
Mountains
Lemon
falls low.
super low though.
It doesn't get out.
And Lemon dies.
And
Emerald City should die as well. Vancouver, stop this before it even reaches second point.
We'll see.
Or third point, yeah.
Running Diva again. We'll see what happens here.
Really good run.
So,
Yeah. And Mountain ends up getting caught and dying.
That's actually big for Louis.
That's your yeah. And
Shiva
Vancouver
falls low,
just
and it's just
dying.
Choco.
Yeah. And I believe Vancouver Louisville get second point off this.
And look at that. Louis has 4 ults and almost a 5th to the what? Maybe 2 ults? 3 ults?
Yeah.
There's the
And Lemon pulling the high noon. Same with Choco. Both pulling the high noon. However, Lemons gets a kill while Choco's does not.
I think the DM stopped it.
Yeah, the DM probably stopped it. The Death Blossom, where is the Death Blossom?
Force him out. There's a... Okay, B and Blade. Counter beat though. Choco's kind of alone.
Through the beat.
Kiri's alone. TP's out though. Kiri falls anyways.
Okay. Louisville with a minute left still have rush. However, Vancouver are able to match the rush, and they're able to actually have Primal as well. Blue Jays switching off of the Reaper and onto the Torb. Maybe a little bit on the counter dive for the Winston.
Interesting. Reaper works well against the Winston, but I think the turret's better because you can just sit there and prevent the Genji and the Winston.
Yeah, and this is Primal to counter the rush. Blue Jay ends up dying through the rush, and so does Lucio, and then it's just cleanup from there.
They have 20 seconds, so I don't know if they touch in time, to be honest. Maybe
they're staggering the baby diva.
They are.
This is brutal.
I think this is a game.
They know Minky is being staggered. Yeah.
Oh, they waited until like the very end.
Yeah, they did. That's mean.
It is.
Blue Jay does end up touching, but that means Diva. They will not have Diva for this fight.
Smooth is here out.
Lemon can't touch too without giving his life. Yeah.
That was a big smart stagger. But I don't know if they would have made it back even if they hadn't staggered him.
I think Minky was still. I think Minky unironically would have gotten back if they didn't stagger. So that stagger probably won them that fight.
I genuinely wonder if he just left, like, cause they were so hell bent on like staggering him, right? I wonder if he just ran away. If that would have worked, I doubt it. They probably just killed him.
I think you probably should have jumped off the map at that point, like just fully reset once you realize what they're doing. And again, this is going to a map 5. 2-2 could really go any way. I think the first map really the second map really did show how close the series would end up being.
Yeah, that's 2-2. So now it's just what, hybrid? No, we already did hybrid. What's left?
Push.
Push.
Yeah.
Murasaki
Runasapi.
and Genji's banned.
Genji as well.
That makes sense.
Yeah, Choco has been doing a lot on Genji, so
You mean recall? Recall is
recall, yeah. Sorry.
You know that blade with like Ana every time. Big. Now what are they banning?
We'll see.
You can't ban a DPS.
Yeah.
And most of the DPS they play anyways has been banned, right? Except for Junk, I guess. But I don't know if you played Junk on this map. It's more of a poke map.
Yeah, this map has very long sight lines, and so I'm not sure you would even want to ban.
You can run dive on this map too.
You can, but you're kind of at a disadvantage.
Well, that's why I'm wondering if we ban it. They're banning
Maga. Stopping the brawl. Oh, and it looks like Minky did actually want to play the Maga.
Yeah, that makes sense. No.
Oh no, you can't go Mauga. How sad. How tragic.
Hog is very strong right now. He does the same. He's not very good at team play, but
Yeah.
like, you know what? That's actually a really good strategy is to run Hog and just hook anyone that like dives your backline.
Yeah.
But
Hog is very anti-dive, and so
he's very good about that. The only thing is that they run the Winston and they shield you. You really can't like do anything about it. So
yeah. That's really the only issue.
otherwise, you just actually beat the Winston. Like your poke is better. You can hook him whenever he comes back. You can also run Queen. Actually, I wonder if Mickey's actually run Queen on this map. This is a really good Queen map.
Yeah.
Because you can do a similar thing where you put your knife in them, you do bleed, and then you pull them back whenever.
Yeah.
Whenever they try and leave.
We are going into the map. Yes, the burrito story. The absolutely necessary burrito story.
My burrito today sucked. Was he on a campus Chipotle?
Vile from Stan.
Ready for battle.
Yeah. So we're running the Diva against Monkey again. Interesting. And so Recall is now running the Sombra.
Yeah.
2,
because their Genji got banned.
Yeah.
Objective unlocks in 30 seconds.
And so it was just allowed in play again because they did ban him
Yeah.
last game.
So Lemon is back on the Soj. So
I definitely feel like these bans have definitely been impacting the games, like,
yeah.
heavily.
Not to mention just these teams were always going to be close. So this set was always not going to be super easy. But Vancouver coming out early with a pick onto Blue Jay, who is going to opt for the Junkrat instead.
Minky gets demaxed and falls. I think the Junkrat makes sense though because it's a kind of an anti-dive character, and you break the shield really fast.
I guess. I mean, it really depends on how they want to use Junkrat. But Vancouver coming out with a rather early lead of 30 meters.
Oh, they're running the Czar. I guess that works. You can bubble whoever they dive.
I guess.
The only problem with that is that you really can't blow up the bubble very quickly.
And Blue Jay ends up blowing up Recall, but Vancouver trade in response with Lemon. Minky falling kind of low, or what am I saying? Anyway, Vancouver are kind of forced to retreat here. They are getting the high noon very fast.
Choco's kind of alone here.
Choco popping off.
Falls.
Gets finally killed by Emerald City, who also ends up falling eventually.
Minky's kind of alone here. He does get another. I think he's dying here. No, he has another bubble. I think
Minky dies, yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and Vancouver are gonna make their lead even larger. They do end up getting the checkpoint, I believe. But they leave point. I think that's intentional. And they knew Louisville were coming back, and so we're like, yeah, we're gonna give you a little bit of space and then rehit once you make a mistake. And Choco Man pulling the Deadeye forces a lot of them to get back. Minky does end up LOSing it and killing it, but I think this will cost Minky his life, yeah.
Smooth is kind of alone here. That's a big stagger too. Oh no, he gets the same respawn wave. He's lucky.
Yeah. And Shiva back is still on the Ana, has Nano this time, making that lead 95-0. This is gonna be much harder the further it actually goes in if you're Vancouver.
Yeah. I'm almost wondering if Minky's considering swapping back off of the Zarya after ulting, because I feel like the Zarya is just not. The Zarya is just not getting much value. I feel like they're kind of just ignoring him.
I think the Diva gets, and that's a huge EMP. That's a 5-man EMP, I think.
They mitigate a little bit, but I think they're still gonna go down.
Yeah, and that's another fight win for Vancouver. Vancouver are really kind of taking Renasapi.
And they keep pushing.
Yeah.
Still 6 minutes on the clock, but they're getting close to the end here. They need to do something. They have 3 ults here, so there's Rush.
And that's an early rush from Smooth, but that's a Nana Winston.
Mickey's kind of on the other side of a bubble.
Louisville are just
behind him. Mickey's kind of
grab
alone.
as well. You get almost every ult but Ray out if you're the side of Vancouver, and you still have Primal.
Mickey
Lemon,
swapped
I
the
think,
ball
dies.
Swapping to the ball for the touch.
And gets immediately slapped,
and
hacked, and just dies on point. Primal in the spawn, forcing a lot of space. Smooth does fall really low, but ends up trading Choco. And Emerald City dies with Ray again. Minky slapping off of the ball onto Doomfist, maybe a little bit more survivable. Blue Jay with Visor. I think Louisville win this prolonged fight.
Yeah, but they forced. What did they force? They forced rush and pulse
Yeah.
at some point that fight. So
Mm. Yeah, and you still have High Noon and Beat. So
yeah,
compared to the Advisor and Ray, this is possible if you're Louisville, and they are gonna. And the Ray
Beat,
Visor comes
Ray.
out, but the Beat in response.
okay. I think the Ray was good.
The Ray does end up catching them, and Louisville are starting to move the bot a little. However, everybody is low, and there are no supports. But Blue Jay comes in and finishes.
That was huge by Blue Jay. He finished them off so they would live, and now they're
Yeah.
pushing finally.
Mm.
They need to regroup fast. I think they got poor spawn. Look at that, but they're coming
Yeah.
back with Lucio speed.
I will say, Recall is close to another EMP.
Lucio's low.
That's a
Wait,
Lemon
Choco,
ends up sticking Choco. That's High Noon out of the fight.
and Ana.
That's and the Nano as well. With Meteor Strike ends up getting forced. There are no really good targets. So yeah, but Louisville are gonna come out on top this fight.
I think that what I've noticed about this is that it's not really Minky's fault because he kind of had to, but he on Czar was bubbling his teammates and then going in for the backline, but because Mountain was doing a really good job of splitting them, he couldn't really do anything. But now that he's playing Doom, he can get the backline and force them out and get back.
Yeah, Minky is going to get aggressive, and the EMP hits 3. And Vancouver, it's just cleanup at this point.
But they force rush and I think that's
Rush.
it. They forced rush
Yeah.
and then they got EMP
They get
and,
EMP'd.
and Primal.
And Primal, yeah, I see that. Lemon in the backline, maybe looking for Pulse when they get it, but Choco hears it.
I'm a man on a mission. Stay out of my way.
Choco left alone does end up getting Peel. Although this does leave Shiva and Choco alone.
Good slap takes our team, but
I think none of that really matters when you're pushing cart. Right?
yeah, they still have cart progress, so they're not. Oh, Monkey falls though. They get recall, and now they're pushing, but they stall a lot of time.
Oh,
And by the time they get back, I think they still have forward spawn, so
yeah, they do. They
they're gonna
all
get back, and like by the time they get back, all
They're
the targets-
gonna get another fight at this middle part of the map.
Yeah. That was unfortunate that they kind
Oh,
of.
that's unfortunate. That's Nano. And
let me
the
get
bridge
two.
dies.
Wait, let me get two though. Choco falls.
Are we
you,
gonna
Choco.
see a second Runosapi reverse sweep?
Maybe they need to get this in, and they're about to get. They just got forward spawn.
Yeah.
That's
Emerald
big.
City does have the beat, and Minky is very close to Meteor Strike. Choco, no flashbang. Mountain, kind of inting.
Yeah.
Jumping back a little. Cannot confirm the kill onto Smooth.
Recall falls really low. Can they confirm it? They beat. They keep up.
And Lemon notices the back line is really low. Choco Man does end up dying. However, Vancouver trade for Emerald City. Shiva alone without the brig is a very
Trade,
vulnerable
and
dive
Blue Jay
target.
falls. It's just Lemon and Minky now, and they have to get point again. And they have 30 seconds. So this is gonna be last fight territory here.
Time is dire. Time is. This will be close.
They tried to hack, backed out of it though before.
Mm.
The enemy took control of the robots.
10 seconds.
I mean, they have EMP and Primal to maybe rush
Yeah.
/ pulse.
And overtime is activated. That's a second
get-
stick. Choco
they
does
do
allow. Choco does live with the roll.
EMP.
That's a 4-man EMP from Recall. These EMPs have been massive.
And it's just Blue Jay. I think that's it. No, they get Lemon. There's no touch again.
There's no touch, and
And
Vancouver end up winning 3-2.
That was a really close match, like the entire time. It just felt like that this
Yeah.
map was very dominant by Van because of the monkey. I think Minky maybe stayed on the Zara a little too long when it wasn't working, but he
Yeah.
wanted to use ult. It felt like it was working for a bit, and then they kind of started ignoring the bubbles and then waiting him out.
Yeah.
The
That was
Doomfist
a
definitely
huge
worked a
healer.
lot better.
Oh yeah.
That Helix got 2. Well, anything else? I think that's your week 2 match, right? Van is now 1-1, right? And so is Louis.
2-0 for Van.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 2-0, and Louis is 1-1, right?
I'm
Yeah,
not
look
super
at it.
familiar with Louisville's record. I
me
have
take
to
a
check
look.
the sheet, but yeah.
Standings. Louis did have 1, so they're now 1-1.
Mm.
So
So
yeah. But that was a really close match. Congratulations to both teams. You both played really well.
both can be happy about this. Even though Louisville lost, I think this is very good for Louisville. It shows they have a lot of promise. They just need to work on a couple things. And Vancouver, same story there. So
Yeah. But yeah. GG's everyone, and we'll see you next time.
yeah, bye.
It's all over.